going down the rabbit hole with comments from my channel.
Gypinator, I forgot to ask. No, seriously. Who shaved your head? Who gave you the buzz cut when you were a kid? And how old were you? I want the truths. I want the truths. I don't want to know from the acts. I want to know what happened, okay? Who gave the buzz cut? Were you in on it? Did you buzz cut yourself? Did you know why you were getting the buzz cut? What did you know why you were getting the buzz cut? I need to know. I mean, it's just me that thinks it's an important situation and conversation, but I'm stuck on it, okay, Gypsy? Because it's going to prove were you abused or not. I'm not saying you weren't because, you know what I'm saying, Gypsy? You know what I'm saying? But listen, there's something up in there. There's something I'm missing. I'm missing a goddamn piece, okay? And the Freedom of Information Act came out. And what the hell was that? You gonna fill me in or not? Because I'm here in the darks.
Comment from All Hail King Rose. So I can't remember where it was mentioned, but I know that I heard that the cancer thing started because they were in the Superdome after Hurricane Katrina and they both wanted to get out of there because they were living in horrible conditions. So she shaved her head and made the claim, and they got a flight out of there immediately and housing. Now, I'm not saying it's right, but if it's true, that's a dire situation, and maybe once the donations started rolling and she had no choice but to keep it up, so she just let it be. My response. Except Christy said that DD told them Gypsy had leukemia when she was 8. Katrina happened when she was 14. All Hail King Rose answered. I don't believe Christy, but it still could be true. It's unfortunate that they are so deceptive that nothing they say can be believed. So I did some digging. What is the truth? Here is a picture of DD with Gypsy on the helicopter ride. You can see she has the hat on and most likely has a shaved head. But what about before this? The pictures of Gypsy before Hurricane Katrina when she and her mother were still living in Louisiana, so she saw her dad often then. Gypsy has hair. There are no bald pictures of her that I could find when she was little and near 8 years old. All of them, she has a full head of hair. So this gives evidence to the story that Gypsy and her mother decided to fake her cancer diagnosis when they were stuck after Hurricane Katrina. If Gypsy had cancer, then they would get a direct flight to a safer area with housing, food stamps, Medicaid, everything they needed. Was it a coincidence they ended up right back where Dr. Robert Beckerman was in Springfield, Illinois? The same Dr. Gypsy had for years in Louisiana? The pictures I could find of Gypsy bald was when she was older and living in Missouri. Have you ever noticed something strange? All the pictures that show Gypsy bald, she still has her eyebrows and eyelashes. If she was really receiving chemotherapy, she would lose all her hair. She wouldn't have had to shave her legs. Nick said her mom wouldn't let her shave her legs, but in order to keep up with the con, she would have had to shave them, so she looked like she lost all her hair. My conclusion from going down the rabbit hole on this comment is that the person who wrote it is correct. I believe they did fake her cancer to get a flight to Missouri right away and get out of their situation after Hurricane Katrina. Now let's go down the rabbit hole for the next comment I have. Comment from Love Shack Sarah 88. Ready for this? Stanfield's daughter is autistic. How he even looks her in the eyes after being involved with what was done to Nick, absolutely shameful. And that in of itself is seriously questionable. Stanfield's involvement in Nick's case. His job was Gypsy, not Nick. Nick being convicted or not was none of Stanfield's business. But he sure made it his business, didn't he? I have more. A very curious discovery I made last night looking into Stanfield. I stumbled upon another man named Stanfield in Springfield, and he knows Gypsy from VisionCon. He had pics of her in his page. He was with the 501st Legion. Which, curiously enough, when she disappeared at VisionCon and was found in someone's hotel room, that man's reputation was destroyed because of the incident. He was stripped of his role in the 501st Legion. His reputation was only saved because of the crime and her true age being revealed, etc. And it was not Dan she was found with. Could this other man named Stanfield be that man? The rumor always was it was an older man in the 501st, but Dan was never a member. This short video was put on TikTok. The Facebook post was from a David Stanfield. I am told that he is of no relation to Mike Stanfield. However, the person circled in the photograph looks just like Mike Stanfield giving Gypsy Rose some kind of award. Then I found the original post on Facebook, dated January 27, 2010. You can see DD on the left taking pictures and Gypsy becoming an honorary member of the 501st Legion. When I scroll over the top of the man who looks like Mike Stanfield, the name Brandon Lawthorne comes up. So even though that looks like Mike Stanfield, it isn't. I wanted to shout from the rooftops that Mike Stanfield knew Gypsy before the crime ever happened, but it turns out that isn't him. As for who Gypsy was found with in the hotel room, it could have been anybody. I don't think it's David Stanfield just based on his Facebook page. He looks like a decent guy who wouldn't do that. David Blanchard, on the other hand, I would expect would do that, and he was also a member of the 501st group as well as Vision Con. But knowing Gypsy as we do, it could have been anybody. Here is a picture of David Blanchard on David Stanfield's Facebook. So my conclusion after going down the rabbit hole for comment number 2 is, yes, Mike Stanfield should be very ashamed of himself, especially if he has an autistic daughter and didn't care how Nick was treated in the trials. But when it comes to who Gypsy was found in the hotel room with, I have no idea. I don't believe it was David Stanfield, who is no relation to Mike. But then there were so many older men at those conventions, and who could resist that face? So tell me what you think in the comments. What conclusions did you come up with after reading these comments from my channel? By the way, because of a certain content creator, I have been demonetized for a few months, and I have to do a second appeal to get remonetized at the end of April. In the meantime, if you would like to support this channel, you can become a member, or go to my Linktree and buy me a coffee. Thank you for all your support.